Hi, my name's Mike Rust, and I'm the Aquaculture Steering Group Chair for ICES, and I wanted to address this idea about an ecosystem approach to North Atlantic marine aquaculture. Are we there yet? Well, I would say partly, and the reason I say partly is because if you look at how aquaculture is regulated in our region, it's really regulated by environmental and social laws. Industries working in the ocean have to comply with laws protecting our fisheries, our habitats. Marine mammals are another charismatic megafauna, endangered species. They have to account for water quality and air quality, food safety, truth in marketing, and many other laws. Incidentally, how these laws align among ICES countries is one of the topics and of the working group on environmental interactions of aquaculture that's just getting started. The other reason, which maybe we're partially already toward a ecosystem approach to aquaculture, is because our societies share environmental and social values, and these are very strong. Our industries, in order to sell their products and to have social license to operate, which translates into sites and the ability to run their businesses, really means that they have to minimize their impacts on the environment beyond the legal requirements to do so. They have to maximize positive impacts on the economy in terms of jobs, in terms of multipliers. They have to be fair and honest. They have to follow the laws. There's a premium on healthy food and local food, and enterprises that benefit society. They have to look after animal welfare. And the other thing that we share in the ICES region is that we import the majority of our food. So there's this question about exporting the responsibility for our seafood consumption. The values and the economics associated with aquaculture in ICES countries and how they're measured and trade-offs is one of the areas that the working group on social and economic dimensions of aquaculture works on. But beyond that, so we have shared values, we have shared similar laws which need to be alignment, and I think that provides a good basis. But how do we move this going forward from an ecosystem-based approach to actual ecosystem-based management and gain some of the benefits? Well, first we kind of need a working definition, and so I'm going to use this one as a working definition for where we are. First of all, ecosystem approaches have to be geographically specific in an area. Ecosystems are geographically specific, so that kind of makes sense. Um, we have to consider the resiliency and sustainability of the ecosystem, and then also recognize physical, biological, economic, and social interactions among the affected both marine and terrestrial components of the ecosystem. Aquaculture produces food first and seafood second, so we cannot operate in isolation of other food producing sectors, other marine users, other aspects of the economy and the ecosystem. And of course this all includes humans as a big part of the mixture. But number 4, I think, is the reason we do this. What we're getting from an ecosystem approach is the ability to get down to 4, which is optimizing benefits among a diverse set of societal goals. And I think that's really important and something we need to keep our eye on as we work toward moving an ecosystem approach to an ecosystem management opportunity. Developing this framework is one of the tasks of the new working group on scenario planning in aquaculture. So I hope that we can move toward this and have an opportunity to interact in a little bit better context. But all of the aquaculture working groups at ICES work on numbers 2 and 3, whether it's genetic impacts or genetic resiliencies, sustainabilities, whether the interaction between populations, whether it's diseases and how those interact between wild and farmed populations or farmed and farmed, their impact on social and economic resources, and it's certainly the social and economics and environmental interactions all work very strongly in areas 2 and 3 to really provide the models and the understanding of how we build resiliency and sustainability and understand the interrelationships among the affected components. And then some of the groups are also now getting to the optimization of the benefits part. And I think, again, our ability to move from an approach to actual management will come when we can do this, where we can bring some of these things together and look at trade-offs, look at ways to basically have our cake and eat it too. Can we develop a resilient, sustainable aquaculture and have minimal or positive impacts on other aspects of the users and the marine environment itself? When we do so, we'll also then be able to better address these questions of what will happen in a scenario of changing climate and changing environment, because we'll have all these benefits and these diverse set of goals on the table, and we can look at them side by side. Here's an example of an academic exercise where this was pulled together, and it's a paper from Lester and colleagues fairly recently looking at the Southern California Bight. And they really took into account other users of the ocean, the shoreside economic potential, a couple different types of aquaculture, finfish, shellfish, and seaweeds. And they tried to enhance the synergy between aquaculture, the ecosystem, and other sectors in order to really do this, maximize benefit and minimize risk. And in the end, what they came up with, and I think this is a really important bottom line, is they identified around 250,000 marine spatial analysis solutions that generate a significant amount of seafood and billions of dollars of revenue through aquaculture, and at the same time had really minimal impacts on existing sectors in the environment. Now, there's room to improve a lot of the underlying models they use. There's room to expand this. This is just kind of a first shot, I would say, toward this approach in an ICES country, and this is an area hopefully that we can build upon and expand. Now, moving from an ecosystem approach, I think, to actual ecosystem-based management is really a job for the government. Industries themselves are what is managed in an ecosystem context. It's multiple industries, so no one industry or no one farm is really able to do this on its own. It's really an area where management tools are needed by governments to do this. And ICES uniquely has the ability to provide advice products and can develop management tools that can be used by coastal managers and regulators to come up with intelligent solutions and intelligent answers to real-world questions about aquaculture development in specific bodies of water. And I think that's a really exciting opportunity for ICES working groups. So where do we get started? I think that there's plenty of areas, existing industries, but also we have some new areas that are coming on. Offshore, for example, fish and shellfish, and hopefully we can develop an ICES working group on offshore aquaculture. There's certainly a lot of macroalgae in the region that seems to be developing quickly. In terms of technology, it's not just about tools for management. Eventually, I think we need to look at multiple bottom line technologies which can ease firms' ability to comply and really conform with an ecosystem approach. And there's maybe others. So with that, I'd like to get the session started, and I look forward to the discussion and questions. Thank you.